Let's go.
Hey, welcome back or welcome to my channel. Another episode down, another run completed, and now we await the elimination results before we proceed to the third and final mission. Double the performances from last episode, so there's a lot more to recap and review. The notable takeaways from the comment section from last week were that Love Killer was a bit underwhelming despite the star-studded lineup. It really didn't match the expectations of what could have been. I don't know if this is mild or spicy, but if they did something like what Tomboy did, then maybe the reactions would have been slightly different. But yeah, also there was an increase in support for Keita in my comments specifically. He's always been such a great contestant, but I just hadn't had that moment where it just clicked for me. So hearing his rap on Zoom just hit so different and it just appealed to me more personally. Other than that, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel, but without further ado, let's recap episode 7. It starts off with a quick recap of what's happened last week. Then we get shown a preview of the episode with many groups facing issues. For Law, it focuses heavily on Han Yujin as he's been not having the best time showing himself as a contestant. The feedback for the interim check was that the choreography was really similar to the original, so that would only lead to comparisons, which they basically wouldn't be able to get on the originals level. Wang Juhao and Yujin had already made some original choreo, but when they did show it, they highlighted specifically only Yujin's choreo, despite both of them being good, so it's kind of a low-key feels bad for Wang Juhao. During the contestants evaluation, Yedam and Yujin messes up during the performance, and as a result, their feedback is that they're kind of unprepared, and thus it proceeds to a long and lengthy practice in which Park Han-bin leads. For Man in Love, we see the interim check where they're all kind of on their own buzz and doing their own style, which makes it feel kind of off. However, they start to work together to fix the issues as it leads to their performance. For Rush Hour, we see a brief glimpse of last week's practice, then we see a new evil edit victim potentially as Ma Jingxiang kinda wants to focus on practicing while the others try to improve the performance by adding new ideas. But this kind of leads to a low-key beef between Ricky and Ma Jiangxiang. Takudo ends up crying because they kept fighting, and honestly, it's a big feels bad for him because even his last group, they also had 2 Chinese contestants argue too. But yeah, Ma Jiangxiang is once again adamant about only practicing, which leads to the leader, Oh Sung-min, leaving frustrated because he isn't able to dissolve the tension. The final check happens and there weren't any mistakes, but the skill masters compared it to Jay and Na Camden's audition and said that their performance was not as good because it just wasn't fun and exciting. They have a heart-to-heart talk and make up before we proceed to their performance. This one's kind of hard for me because I can kind of see where Ma Jiangxiang is coming from in that he's just a let's just do it type of teammate. So instead of waiting around, he wanted to work on his own skill. He was working really hard, and apparently audience members have come out to say that MNET cut out the part where the team talks about how Ma Jiangxiang actually helped Takudo a lot in terms of getting the choreo down. So I'm kind of leaning towards evil edited, but what do you guys think? For Limousine, the feedback from Icon's Bobby was that each wrote a rap about different things, so it felt all over the place messaging wise. So the group came together to talk about what their Boys Planet experience was, and that was kind of their main theme of how they wanted to convey their performance. Do want to side note that they kind of showed the writing experiences for all of them except Christian. They kind of knew what they were doing considering MNET were the people who made Christian basically go through all of that. So yeah. For Feel Special, they got slaughtered during interim because Zhang Shuaibo regretted his main vocal position that he took up. Kai Jin Shin didn't know his lyrics and they didn't also make their choreo. They tried to see how they could recover from the feedback, but no one was willing to step up, leading to Wongi taking up a lot. Zhang Shuaibo then gets called up by MNET a few times in which they splice clips to show evidence of why his excuses for not doing well didn't work. Which, another evil edit? I'm not sure because he did give like either in over his head type of vibes or I kind of quit. Because he didn't really help mitigate the issues, which kind of started because of him. I mean, also claiming to not know the meaning of the song despite it being his favorite song. And also, Wongi did explain it to him, but I guess he didn't listen or understand well. Yeah, I'm not sure about all of that. I can see some people defending him, and I'm just trying to kind of understand where they're coming from. Let me know what you guys think about that though. For Not Spring, Love or Cherry Blossom, the only feedback was that the distribution of the song between the three didn't really highlight any of them, which led to them switching roles, which ended up actually being better. As the final check, we did see all of them doing well, with a special highlight on Park Doa and his newly founded rapping skills. For Butterfly, they excelled during the interim check with really minor vocal and dance feedbacks, leading to them being the best ranked dance vocal team by skill masters. For the final checkup, Junso is the only one that kind of got some feedback, which made him worry and cry because he thought he was going to ruin the performance. Finally, we have Tomboy, which most of it was shown in the previous episode, but they got like extra screen time. There was a lot of higher expectations because of their ranks. Because of that led to the combo of Jang Hao and Hanbin struggling because of this high expectations that they aren't sure whether they can meet, but then they also do eventually overcome it together and form kind of a bond. As for my reviews, I'm just gonna do the same style as last week. For Law, they started off with a bang because they were also good. Each stood out pretty well, but my notable standouts were Wang Juhao and Park Hanbin. Obviously, it would have been nice if Wang Juhao got a little bit more screen time, but I'll just take any crumbs at this point, I guess. The winner ended up going to Hanbin, and I could see why. I think he did the best overall if you evaluate both the skills of rap and dancing, and so props to him, honestly. For Man in Love, Kim Tae's smile was so infectious as he sang so effortlessly. Mingyu added that imperfectly perfect aspect to the stage where it made it feel like the overall performance was kind of more fun and lively. The winner did end up going to Tae, which vocally he just stood out so much. For Rush Hour, it was cute. Also, I could totally feel like there was something missing. Ricky was a standout. His aura was just so completely different from the teammates and the vibe of the song. The winner ended up going to him, and it honestly could be the reason I said before. The rest did pretty decent, but Ricky's aura just kind of overpowered most of them. For Limousine, one of my personal favorite performances. Despite the minor hiccup at the start from Anthony, it got progressively better. Christian suited this concept so well, but also his voice added so much depth to the song. The winner ended up going to Jiu, which I kind of get, but probably not my pick. Overall, both aura and skill-wise, it definitely would have been Christian for me. For Feel Special, they really recovered that performance considering how it was portrayed beforehand. The slowness of the song helped keep the sync of the team. But yeah, Woongi was the only one who stood out, which was a whole top 10 worst anime betrayals when Jang Shuai-bo got first. I mean, once again, not his fault since it's the fans who vote. But yeah, the only thing that kind of helps is that I guess the Woongi edit, I feel like he's gonna get way more support just based on how quote-unquote unfair the results were. For Not Spring Love or Cherry Blossom, Jong E-chan's voice is so good and was a whole standout. I mean, I kind of get why he was ranked last in the previous performance, but he really made up for it and hopefully people recognize it. Overall, not bad and a pretty cute performance. Jong E-chan won this and all I can say is deserved. For Butterfly, such a great performance and everyone did so well for the most part. Kun Kwan-rui, his dance break was one of the highlights and it's kind of strange to see him getting paid nothing in screen time. Plus he just fits this almost like artsy contemporary dance concept. It really made sense as to why he came first in his team. Yeah. And finally, we have Tomboy. Everybody held their own and no one felt overshadowed. From the ad-libs to the dancing, it all really worked. This performance was one of those that I was kind of referring to last episode in which you just saw it and knew that they were going to be winners. It was a really hard choice to make in terms of deciding who came first. So Zhang Hao winning was kind of nice and almost a vindication for him. As for the winners for the 3 special M countdown performances, rap dance went to Law, which once again, well deserved and one of my faves. Vocal rap went to Tomboy, which makes sense too. But if I were to kind of give it to 3 groups just overall, then I would probably make the third one Limousine. And finally, for vocal dance team, it went to Love Killer, which, like I said at the start of the video, if their performance had the same energy as Tomboy, then it may have been justified. But yeah, based on the performances, I think it should have maybe gone to Home instead, just because they conveyed their concept a bit better. But then also, if we were to pick my favorite performance, despite the hiccups, it would have gone to Butterfly. Final thoughts. Next week looks to do what they've always been doing, which is move on to the next round despite the elimination looming for them. Special segments look to play throughout the elimination. They also did once again show that special elimination thing where it's kind of a scam basically. And so they announced Jay, which he came in 12th. And also they named Ma Jingxiang, Moon Jonghyun, and Cha Eun-gi as the potential 28th and final spot. As for my top 9, I've kind of split them into 2 categories. But yeah, before that, my honorable mentions, it goes to Kim Jun-hyun. I have a top 12 of contestants that I don't mind any of like that combo. And basically, I have mentioned most of them at one point besides Junhyun. He's got so much skills and would be such a great addition to any group. So I do hope he continues to build a good solid fan base. But yeah, as for my top 9, my blind supports are Wang Juhao, Keita, and Park Gun-woo. The rest of my top 9s are great and would be great additions, but like, yeah, I'm not kind of biasing them real hard. We have Jae, Sung Han-bin, Zhang Hao, Yu Sung-gun, Kim Ji-yoon, and now Park Han-bin. But yeah, that's it for the recap and review. Thanks for watching and let me know your thoughts about the latest performance and maybe the predictions on who you think might make it or might not. Other than that, my next video should be coming later in the upcoming week. But now that I'm uploading Boys Planet recaps on a Sunday, I plan to push my fortnightly videos to a Wednesday now, so that there's still a bit more of a spacing between the 2 uploads. So please like and subscribe to keep up to date, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!